You were saying that we should move inward toward the experiencer, and my understanding was that the experiencer for you were talking about the physical being as the experiencer?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about the light of understanding. And I'm not saying we should. We can.
We can, okay.
Yeah. Should is a different thing. Should is up to each person's choice, whether I can or not. I can. Actually, the ultimate understanding is that I've never moved out at all. Like the light does not move towards the light is not connected with the objects. It merely makes them shine. So the same way, our light also lights up our experiences. Is not really connected with them. It's not a compulsive relationship. It's up to me to realize it, that since it is not compulsory, why do I get involved? Or we can at least acknowledge that there is no compulsion and then work it out slowly. There are many ways I can learn, I can enjoy, I can also suffer, and I can also understand that it is my own desire that makes me move. And the last is that I am not really involved because I am light. I merely lighten up my experiences and then get involved because I take it to be some kind of a compulsion.
But if instead of taking it as a compulsion, if I were to take it as a part of my journey and for my learning and evolution, then I would be able to stand back and still be participating.
Yeah, of course. Still be participating, but not with the same attitude. No. It's difficult for us to change from the idea of being entertained till we suffer to the idea that actually experience is supposed to be my teacher. But we want entertainment, and that is a problem. Though I can enjoy my learning also, not that we cannot, but again that's a change of attitude. So understand and then find a way, whichever, because there are many, not just one. As I said, from the basic idea that it's a compulsion, I can make it my desire and its consequences. Then my need. And then finally, one day, that it's not my need even.
So in this process we could think of, here we read that we shouldn't rush out. The idea could be that first see how we rush out and observe ourselves.
That's the idea.
Doing it.
Yes.
And then we say, okay, next time
Yeah.
I'll choose.
The whole idea is to become clear whether it is true or not. And to see if the mind is convinced that yes, it is true, then slowly one can work out one's own method. Basic thing that the psychology tries to teach is that the light is not necessarily involved in what it is falling upon. And I am light. Light of understanding or light of consciousness, light of awareness. All those are ideas to be practiced.
Would you say that in the dream state, when we talk about the experience of dreams teaches us that our world, we can create objects in our awareness, and we can also see ourselves in our dreams. So at that level, we're throwing our light to make a dream,
Oh yeah.
and at that level, that dream also, we're not involved in that dream.
When I come out of it, I know that I wasn't involved.
Not involved, but experienced it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the same thing applies to the waking life. So to move away and see, because we have the capacity, because it's the truth, that there are many ways of understanding our experience, then one can decide on whatever. Conscious experience is very different from compulsive experience. That's the very first step that this psychology teaches. You don't need to have a compulsion. Do not, or rather, do not make it a compulsion for your mind. Say, I needed it. Let us say I made mistakes. I needed them in order to learn. But to feel regrets and feel that I should not have done it or I should do it, these things don't function.
And the experience is different in the way that compulsive experience repeats itself, that we have
Oh yeah,
these emotions and tendencies are just
yeah.
strengthened, whereas a conscious experience, it loses some of that power. Is that
Oh
how it's
yes,
different?
oh yes. Then there is another thing that we learn from dreams, that the dreamer and the dream are one and the same. And that's the last, that there are not two, subject and object are not two separate entities, it's one and the same, but for that you have to go to the universal level to understand. From the individual level, we can only learn this much, that in dreams, the dream and the dreamer are one and the same, or they arise from the same source. So in waking state also, they are arising with my participation. Like my attention, without my attention there can be no experience. So various ways of working it out, but only if I am convinced that this is the truth. So would you like me to give you the map first? Let's make it as big as possible.
No, you got curly grass on.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm trying to make land. Oh. Nice tree?
Weird.
Nice tree.
No, it's been hacked.
All right. Take your experience to this, this should represent in a nutshell that this is the level of experiencing inanimate objects. All right. Then we can apply it to living human beings also, though I don't know how to draw living human beings. So this is a level in science which has a particular word for it. Those who were here before, please do not supply those words. I want the new ones to tell me. What do you think this level is? First, think of yourself. I have the physical level, which is my body. Then I have something inside, which is different. So give me words.
The mental.
Pardon?
Mental.
This is not
physical.
mental.
Sense the physical.
Huh?
The
The sensory.
But
Physical. Sensory we haven't started yet.
we're asking for
Physical. All right, material level. Let us say it's the physical level. Physical level. Now, usually we think I on the other side, which is the subject, just see the object. There is nothing in between. which is not true. It's not true. It's not a question of maybe it is true and maybe it is not. It is just not true because today neurology, physiology have proved these facts. Alright? It's difficult that there can be something in between which I have not paid attention to, so we need to understand. They say that there is a sun in the corner, let us say. Alright? There is a sun. Usually that's the idea. When the sun is shining, its light falls on the tree, but then what happens? We think nothing happens.
The reflection.
Yeah. We think nothing happens. It's there, I see, that's all. But when you are trying to learn science, you need to move inwards. So let us say there is a direction. There has to be a direction inwards because experience is taking place somewhere. Even if I think it's at the eye level, even that has to come towards me. Is that clear or not? I think it is there and I am here, and actually the book is not moving towards me, but the light of the sun falling on the object is traveling, because light is nothing but waves. So it is traveling to what? To the most apparent window, and my windows are eyes, let us say. But all this applies to all kinds of sensory experience, not just to the eyes, but because we rely on the eyes in a very big way, so the eye. You think it looks like a fish? Alright. So this is the direction. Would you like to dispute that this is the direction or this cannot be the direction? Come. Would you like to dispute that? Nobody? Alright. There is supposed to be, which I haven't seen and which perhaps none of us have seen, there is an optic nerve traveling through the, what would you call it? There is the retina, then there is the, what would you call it? There is a blind spot through which the optic nerve goes like this and connects to the center of vision. Alright, let us make the center of vision. Let us take this to be the nerve. And where does it go? Where do you think is the center of vision?
The brain.
Back of the brain.
In the brain, nervous system. Alright, maybe it doesn't look like a brain, but you have to believe that this is, let us say, this is the center of vision. Is it enough? How do we know whether it is enough or not? This level, what would you like to call it?
Sense organ.
Pardon?
An organ.
An organ.
Sense organ. Sensory.
Sensory.
Sensory organ.
In science, there are other levels. May I call it physiological? Physiological level. And this?
Neurological.
This level? What would you like to call it?
Mind.
Neurological.
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 Neurological. Very good. Neurological level. Is it enough? Why not? Find out. Travel inwards and find out within yourself.
You have to see, the observer has to be.
I have to be there. Though these are my instruments, but I have to be there. How do I represent myself?
Awareness.
How do I represent myself?
It's awareness.
Huh? Awareness.
It's awareness.
Or let us call it attention, because everyone says pay attention. So let us say attention. So attention is not something visible. What would you like to call it? What level is that?
Consciousness.
Huh?
Psychological.
Consciousness is not a level.
Psychological.
Huh?
Psychological.
Good.
Okay.
Psychological. Psychological. Is it enough?
No.
Why not? Why isn't it enough? Come,
Somebody has to pay attention.
someone has to pay attention. Let us say I have to pay attention. How do I represent myself?
Booty.
Buddhi has no shape, no form, no shape. What level would that be? If I cannot have a form, if I don't have a shape, what level is that?
Energy and light.
Pardon?
Energy and light.
Energy and light. No, I want the name of the level.
Formless.
Huh?
Formless.
Formless is
Mental.
mental?
Metaphysical.
No.
Metaphysics.
Mental is psychological.
Metaphysical.
Metaphysical. All right. It is metaphysical. Meta means beyond. So I can only give you a symbol that I am here, and this has to travel this way. Now it's a problem. We say I pay attention, and here we have that it has to travel in this direction. So what is happening? Work it out. It's a puzzle.
What if it's
Physiology
going
tells
that way?
me that light has to travel inside, and then I have to pay attention. So what am I paying attention to? The object has not arrived, as far as I know.
The impulses.
The impulses, oh, all right, impulses are not object.
Reflect. Can you reflect? When the light falls on your eyes, it goes in nervous system. It has to come back.
Ah, that is the idea. But before coming back, let us see whether this is a unique something. Or is it everywhere? Is it
Well, I don't
everywhere?
think you can see that if you don't have light there.
No. Is this light of attention borrowed
Okay,
by
it's
me,
borrowed.
or is it my own? I created it.
I created
It's
it.
It's your own.
I created it.
Right.
Where was I when I created it?
Well, somehow I came.
Somehow it cannot function in science.
Well, if
You
it's-
have to believe that there is a source from which everyone is getting this light.
It came with me, part of the package.
And that is supposed to be the big I, which you can call God or reality or whatever. It is absolutely necessary to come to the universal level to understand that the light that I find within me is not my own. If I don't understand that, I am creating a problem for myself. Then the other thing that you need to understand is that this direction is like this. It's the opposite way. So how does it function? This passes through me, whatever you think of yourself as. It is a metaphysical idea. It's not a physical idea at all. You can place the ego there, but the ego also does not create the light. It merely borrows it, or it is a hole through which this universal light is going through. Then from here starts something like this, and then from here it travels back perhaps, and then it is like this. So, on the way, am I adding something or not? I have memories. memories, impressions, likes, dislikes. This is the enameling we were talking about. Emotions, expectations, all kinds of things which I am projecting onto that object. And actually how the object is formed in the neurological system, that is in the nervous system, has not been worked out till today. Don't take it for granted that science has cracked the ultimate solution. It hasn't. Our psychology says the object which is traveling in the form of waves or whatever you like to call it has to fall on a screen so that it gets, is there a word like collated? That there are many impulses coming, but many impulses don't make an object immediately. Many impulses have to fall on a screen so that it becomes one object, so that our experience makes sense. So that is what they call this ego or mind or whatever you like to call it, metaphysical level. It's at the metaphysical level, at the unit level, and the only unit we know ordinarily is I. Separated from everything else and say, I am that unit. But I, in this analysis, is metaphysical, it is not physical. So I am never paying attention to the physical level directly. It's always indirect. That's the meaning of all our experiences are mediated. They are never immediate. And for immediate experience, we have this word called aparoksha anubhuti. That's immediate experience, but ordinarily we never have immediate experience. And that's the reason why it does not satisfy me. Because it's never, and we do not have a public reality. That also understand. Alright, this much, then we can go on adding to this slowly and slowly as we come to the other analysis. But this is the most basic map for understanding how we experience. Page 7?
Page 6, page 7, yeah.
Page
Last
7.
paragraph of page 7. One and the many. The unit principle of pure consciousness is Purusha. The unit principle of energy, Prakriti, is the dynamic aspect of the same consciousness.
Alright, if you go on adding to this, you will understand what I'm trying to say. This level in Sanskrit is called Purusha. It means the pure consciousness, light, pure consciousness, universal. And the rest, the whole thing is Prakriti, or you can call it nature, energy, whatever you like to call it. Clear or difficult to understand? Because all this is matter. There is gross matter and there is subtle matter, including the feeling of I, ego. That also is subtle matter. Yes?
So, that, how would Prakriti's process go then? I mean, is it the same?
Because of the light of the Purusha?
But then, so like, can I think of Prakriti as like another metaphysical, like, there's, trying to think how when I think of myself as separate from nature.
From nature?
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the body is nature, mind is nature. It's only the sense of I
It's separate.
which is separate, and that's also a reflected light. As I've tried to show, that it's the light of the Purusha which travels to this, take it as a whole, is traveling through this, and because it reflects the light, therefore it seems as if it's conscious. It seems as if it is conscious. We are not really awake. And in order to wake up, I need to travel back. The more I travel back, the more you can say I am enlightened. But real enlightenment of the Buddha arrives only at this level.
Identity with the Purusha.
Yeah, the rest is, it's yet light, but it is bifurcated into many channels.
So if we say though there's a universal mind,
Yeah, the millions of these,
and
as we know, millions of these unique or separate identities make the universal mind. And they are also always interconnected.
And then is there a universal attention and a universal neurological
Yes,
and a universal
yes.
physiological?
Oh yes, and even the physical. Everything is universal. Universal in the sense made up of many parts, multiple. It's a collection. The tree is a collection, you come to this level, everything is a collection. Collection of cells, collection of neurons, collection of atoms, collection of electrons. You can understand it in any way. But the principal unit of I get the hint only within myself.
Mataji, what Lynette was saying that, and what you're talking about, that there's a universal aspect to all these, and that's all part of Prakriti.
Yes.
Oh, and then
Collection.
mm-hmm.
It's made up of many parts.
And so what's hiding?
What's
How
hiding is that?
is hiding, right? But what's hiding it?
What is hiding it?
Yes.
This.
It's like a veil.
Uh-huh.
Because I identify with this in this direction,
Right,
therefore I put on many veils,
right.
not just one. I am hiding it, no one else.
Yeah, so it's all getting very,
So could you say that Prakriti is the dynamic function of Purusha?
Yes, we can say that, but it gives rise to certain problems, very deep metaphysical problems, and you can understand that pure consciousness is nothing but light, but when it starts playing with itself by changing levels, there are levels of energy, like from physical level to mental, to emotional, to intellectual. It is always on the move. Because it is on the move, it seems as if Purusha is playing this game. And that is the mistake we make about ourselves also, that I am the conscious principle, I am playing the game. And that is the problem, because I am not, I am light, I am separate. I light up experiences, I am not really involved in it. And yet I am involved in it. That is why it is called Maya. It's something we don't understand. How could it be? And the problem is, where did it begin? When did it start? And that answer cannot be given. But we can work it out. The how and why. Why, of course, is very difficult to answer. Why does Purusha start transforming itself into this movement of energy? That's something we don't know. But the rest, you can work it out by how does it function. It's clear. Just as in the Western science, they know the how. The how of things is very well known today to a very great extent, but the why is not known.
And Mataji, I could replace that I with the nose or any of the senses.
Well,
Right, but in terms of the.
no,
ig-
not this
object.
eye. No.
No, I'm
It's
talking
become
about the
metaphysical.
eye, I'm talking about the
The
eye.
physiological
The
eye.
physiological
Oh,
eye.
of course, of
So
course.
any of the ton mantras
Oh,
can be
yeah.
there, okay,
Elements.
okay,
It is the 5 elements
Yes.
which have made me
Right.
into this.
all right.
Yeah. And as you go deeper, it becomes subtler and subtler and subtler till it seems to vanish into this level of buddhi, which Chuck is trying to give. That is the level of buddhi, where the first reflection of light falls. And then it travels outwards. And because it travels outwards, it goes on bifurcating. By the time you come out to the level of material reality, it has become multiple. And we don't know how to handle that.
Would you say, Mataji, would you say that all this in between becomes a personal until we get to Purusha?
Personal,
Personal experience, would you say that?
a
From the
personal
eye
experience
to-
of,
Until from eye to eye,
She's saying
all
from
that
meta
becomes a,
to
that
physical.
center becomes personal?
You mean in that?
oh yeah,
Yeah, personal, and then until the Purusha comes.
yeah, that is impersonal.
That's
But the way of understanding this is also not personal because it's not unique.
You think it is?
Everyone has it.
But if I'm looking through my eye,
Oh yeah, that's the problem. We feel that to work with it you can. These are all the hypotheses which I can work with. But if I wish to understand the facts, then I have to understand that this is a universal play. It's not only my play. Like supposing, take again the idea of the ocean. There are millions of bubbles there, and each one does seem to be separate. It has a globe-like construction. But then to think that they can survive separately or there is something unique to each one is not a fact. They are part of the ocean, and the water also belongs to the ocean. So it's only the shape and name which makes us feel that it is separate. It's all in the naming ceremony, I was going to say, which human beings love to have, this naming ceremony. And the more the number of names, the better it is. Very strange, this game that we play with ourselves. Parents play with their children. Not one name is sufficient, have as many as possible. Have you ever heard about kings, how many names they used to have? Read some history and see how they are called. I mean, it's like a string of words that has to be used in order to say the majesty is arriving. So we all want to become those majesties. The only problem is we have no subjects who will clap.
Could you say that the first point of separation for the is in the Buddhi to deliver?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Okay,
Ah.
thank you.
Advaita Vedanta does not accept two elements and says the dynamic aspect is a seeming movement and it is not ultimately separate. If the mind is convinced that this is the truth, then it can start practicing being in the center. The moment we posit two, it is a problem. For example, if we say we have become bad, then if it is really so, there is very little we can do about it, because reality implies changelessness and reality can only be one. Therefore, having become bad, one cannot then become good. We may not deny the appearance
These
of
are
them.
psychological problems. If I start feeling I am bad, as it is given in many religions, you were good, you became bad. How? How did I become bad? Nobody has been able to solve this problem. In Christianity, it is the original parents. In Hinduism also, it's your karma, which is following you. and Islam also the same thing. Your parents are responsible for that. Then ordinarily, who is responsible? We are still trying to understand. For instance, millions of prisons all over the earth and millions of people who have to keep order, millions of laws. All these are ways of trying to understand where could evil have come from. So Advaita says, once you believe that you have become bad, there is no way you can become good, therefore leave it. You never became good or bad. You are what you are. That's all.
We may not deny the appearance of dynamism, but we need to assert that it is not the ultimate reality. It is this feeling of the ultimate and absolute that makes us ask the questions of how, why, when, where, and what about it. These questions are part of our own momentum, which is trying to exhaust itself, and we think it is connected with the outside world. We need to slow down the momentum of the whirlwind of the mind and realize our oneness with consciousness. The ocean of consciousness. The universal water in the ocean seems to have got trapped in a bubble and thinks of itself as a separate entity, not realizing that it is the ocean. Each one of us is commonly aware that we are within this system, the body-mind complex, the bubble, and we are not aware of the universal ocean of consciousness. Thus, the subject becomes apparently mixed with the object in such a way that it seems almost impossible to separate it unless we use all energy at our command to grasp the basic idea and get hold of a method of separation. Instinctively, we have learnt many methods of separating ourselves from the external world, and we emphasize the separation through statements such as, I like it, I do not like it. This is based on the habits acquired in this life and the tendencies of countless stages of evolution. Even if we take it as traveling from species to species, we are linked with a long line of likes and dislikes that are present in the system, and we use this as the standard to judge everything. We all have different likes and dislikes, and these tendencies are coming from very involuntary backgrounds. Till we acknowledge the level of our ignorance, we cannot hope to move on.
So this level of ignorance is what we need to recognize. We want to recognize the level of evil. Usual traditional religions tell you that it is the level of evil that we are fighting. Advaita Vedanta says you are fighting the level of ignorance. Which one would you prefer? You have to choose. In this age, we have the choice. But if we have learned to recognize evil as absolute evil, it's very difficult, not easy. I may say I am good, but then I recognize evil outside. So even that does not solve the problem. I have to understand that the people who seem to be evil are ignorant. And that's a big jump.
A simple concept that was given in every civilization and in every traditional religion was the basic idea that in the beginning there was just one unit, and that was called God. And the method for the mind to flow back to this unit was through faith or bhakti, devotion.
Now, let me show you what they meant. We are trying to ask what is the method of traveling back. So, the most prevalent method given to us was called bhakti in India. And what do you call it? Devotion? Devotion to what?
To the
It was a problem. Now, Purusha seems to be hiding somewhere. God also seems to be hiding. But what is present to my experience is the tree. So can I have Purusha, will somebody make a form, human form, some kind of a form? Does anyone know?
She's good.
Maria's good.
Maria, go make a form.
No? How long?
Rani,
Nobody
do it.
knows how to make
Rani
a human
knows,
form.
but
I can.
Just make
Good.
a stick person. Doesn't have
Where
to
do you
be-
want it?
We have many colors.
Okay, so where would you like it?
It has to be there.
Over here.
Yeah. Why don't you make it within the tree?
Within the tree.
Oh, yeah.
on the tree.
Human form.
Sitting on the branch.
Dangling,
Hanging.
Swinging.
upside down.
Not bad. Now, does it look like God?
Sure.
Yes.
It looks like a caterpillar.
It's a woman.
His mother's
Now,
Mother-
Bhakti says,
there. Like,
after all, you are seeing light there. Isn't that so? I see light here. Lighted objects or lighted people or lighted whatever. So I cannot turn back immediately and go to the universal source. So why don't you use your method as, your ordinary method as a kind of help to travel back. So you put in place of this, what is it called? In place of the tree, have a form. Whatever you like. India says whatever you like. It can be an animal god, it can be a human god, it can be a mixture of the two, it can be anything you like. It can be an incarnation, imagined picture, or it can be a real photograph, anything. This freedom was given in India because the idea is that hasn't become God, but it is a representation, and I need a representation in order to travel back. So the more light I throw on this, the more real it becomes. Clear? Simple? So Bhakti says, choose one particular object of your choice and pay full attention to that. Throw all your energy in that direction, like you have a symbol. So take that as symbolic, throw all your energy on that. Slowly it will become so real that it will travel back to this and join this. This was Bhakti. And this kind of traveling is called Bhakti Yoga. Ordinary Bhakti is a different thing. Whatever I like or whatever I am attached to, I would call that Bhakti. But this is a different kind of an idea, but based on our ordinary ways of functioning. Therefore, it is the simplest, and it is something that doesn't demand too much of intellectual understanding. They did not say you have to understand all this in between levels. You have only to pay direct attention. Let us say from here, pay direct attention to this. It will come back reflected and help you to join this. Because energy travels. So the energy that you are giving to the particular form of God or particular form of symbol, it will come back because it is concentrated energy. Which happens even in ordinary relationships. You like something, or you, let us say, take simple objects like, I like this pen, and I am looking at it. The more attention I pay to it, the more it is giving me back something. You don't understand the simple psychological principle? The more attention I pay to it, my attention itself travels back to me, and I like it. I love it. It's mine. Don't pick it up and take it away. Simple. This is simple bhakti. So make it a path means it becomes a yoga, bhakti yoga. Yoga means you have changed your ordinary way of functioning into a highway. Simple?
Yes.
All right.
Mataji, they actually have done some scientific experiments on people paying attention to an object like that and have found exactly that. That the
Yeah.
more they look at it, the more they love it.
Yeah,
They
of
like
course.
it. Yeah.
But then that functions for evil also.
Mm-hmm.
Pay more attention to evil,
Mm-hmm.
it will become more and more real. So that is the danger in bhakti yoga. One can become dogmatic. That this image which I love should be the universal image. Everyone should accept it. That is the dogmatism of bhakti, if I am not clear. Which is happening. Yes?
Now, the idea of worshiping a form, if it's or nature, and in believing that it's a representation of God is one thing. But if I was like, had a pair of high heels, and it's like, oh, I love those.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what you were sort of making fun of, right? Is that we can also...
No, I am
No?
not making, I am trying to explain to you how we make things real.
Mm.
How energy travels with my attention and how it comes back. So you can apply it to anything. Why is it that I like some things, or why is it suddenly I go out and look at a tree and say, how beautiful. I have paid attention. It comes back to me. We do not know how energy functions, and that is why we never sort of understand why we become attached to certain things, or why is it that we start shifting. Something looked beautiful once upon a time, now it does not. What has happened, we don't know. It's because we are not in control of this energy. In order to be in control, I need to make it into a yoga. Otherwise, it's happening automatically. But anything you pay attention to will become real. But then it doesn't last, because I start understanding this is not going to give me everything. So that is why it doesn't become a yoga. But then I'll give you an example. In India, the footprints of the Guru are worshipped. We have even the example of, I don't know whether you know Ramayana, the story of Ramayana. Maybe you don't know, or maybe you know. There were 4 brothers, and one brother was given exile, and the other brother came back and said that no, you have to come back. His whole story has to be.
Basically, the younger brother is not ready to take up the kingdom of his older brother and his rights. So he comes to him and says, okay, I will take care of the kingdom, but I will do it by placing your slippers on the throne, and they will be representing you, and I will do the management of the kingdom.
So it is not ridiculous. It happens. It's a question of attitude. What is my attitude to a particular object? What do I associate it with? If I associate the footprints of my Guru and think that they represent the Guru himself or herself, I'll have the same reverence, the same bhakti, same devotion. So, but the only problem is that in ordinary shoes, I'll go and buy another pair the very next day, or maybe next month.
Mataji, question. I'm sorry.
No, you can.
Okay, you create Bhakti Yoga, it's personal God, you can call it, right? So it can be influenced by others also. Can
Others?
it be influential? Like somebody can influence, okay, there is a God, this is what representation. Someone can influence also, right?
No, someone can influence means?
Okay, someone else see the personal God for them. Okay, there is a statue or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then that person tells me, oh, there is a God, and so powerful and that. And I look at it, okay, I will follow your footsteps. Would it consider that when I'm being influenced by others?
Well, we are always being influenced by others. That's not a basic, what should I say? It's not a problem unless I do it absolutely without any thinking, without any examination, without any understanding. But if I use a little bit that somebody's faith can become my faith, of course, why not? We are being influenced by each other all the time. And especially in religion or our idea of devotion to particular images, especially in India, of course, why not? If I meet a person who is deeply involved in a particular deity or representation of a deity, and you think that person is not telling lies, of course you will be influenced. Even without knowing, you will be influenced. This is what happens in different groups which try to follow the same tradition or the same symbol or the same picture, like taking Christianity. Millions of people will move towards that image because they are being influenced by each other. Same with the Hindus, same with Islam, because we love to be surrounded by a greater consciousness of human beings, so that we don't feel isolated. We want to belong. This sense of belonging, which we don't think about, is very deep in us. Till we can stand completely on our own, absolutely isolated, which is the idea of the sadhu in India. We are always trying to belong to something. We feel incomplete, so we would like to be part of a group or part of a religion or part of a nation, race. All those ideas are the same. And we are being influenced all the time. But that influence can be understood to some extent. It can become my choice, or it can become absolutely without any understanding. Just follow.
That would be blind faith.
There is no such thing as blind faith. It's a question of recognizing that I don't want to use my thinking. I can use it. I can understand. Why is it that I want to belong? It's very easy. I can't stand the idea of being isolated. Therefore, I want to belong. Accept it consciously. Then it does not become too much of a problem. But if I do not accept my own choice and think it is being imposed on me, then of course it's a problem.
Thinking of the unit principle of person is very important.
Just a second, where are we?
Page 9, last slide.
A simple concept?
Yeah, so we have halfway through. I'll read the whole thing.
All right.
A simple concept that was given in every civilization and every traditional religion was the basic idea that in the beginning there was just one unit, and that was called God. And the method for the mind to flow back to this unit was through faith or bhakti, devotion. Thinking of the unit principle of person is very important. It helps the mind to flow in one particular direction. Human life is caught in a complicated network of multiplicity which causes suffering and problems. Therefore, focusing attention in one steady direction becomes essential to be able to deal with the multiplicity. We are creatures of habit, and at one time the habit of sincere prayer with ritualistic action was in itself a way of connecting with God. Ritualistic action could hold a person together and give a sense of being a unit. However, since this age has emphasized rational thinking and faith does not function easily, rituals are considered mere superstitions. We need some understanding as to why we must get out of multiplicity and focus on oneness. Where does experience...
Yeah, just a second. Yes?
I was just wondering, could you compare that with the bottom of page 32?
Pardon? On?
Page
Page 30, bottom of page 32.
Page 32. What is on page 32?
You want to read that?
Please, I don't have the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. From where? Willpower does not come, or the full paragraph?
No, just the,
Okay.
from
We have to-
voluntary.
Voluntary attention has nothing to do with interest. The existence of truth does not depend on whether we are interested in it or not.
Ah.
Willpower does not come from being interested in the object, it comes from practice, which needs tremendous effort. It teaches us how to become more conscious. We have to pass that level and learn to concentrate without interest being involved. We have to create the motivation to search for truth. The great claim made in the ancient psychology of India is that with Brahman shining, everything shines.
Yeah, how do you connect it? Usually we would say, just now I'm trying to give you some very abstract ideas, trying to make them simple enough, trying to give you something to hold on to. It's not very interesting. Unless I have the motivation to see what exactly I'm trying to do and the amount of my concentration and my desire to get through to you and your desire to understand, unless they are multiplied, you will not be interested. So I have either, if it is the truth, I have to create that interest. If I cannot, if I say, oh, I feel sleepy with things like this, then sorry. There will be no willpower. Willpower grows when we learn to pay attention to anything without being interested in it in the beginning. Interest will grow slowly if we have the motivation to
Understand.
yeah. It's a very big problem of the waking stage. We are interested in things, so we pay attention. No interest, I won't pay attention. But then truth does not depend on my attention or inattention. Truth is truth, whether I am interested in it or not.
Where does experience take place? Today, therefore, rational understanding is necessary. That is why Swami Vivekananda wants Advaita Vedanta and Sankhya psychology to be understood in this age.
This is Sankhya psychology. The other side gives you great detail. This side is just a simple map of the same thing.
Okay, sorry, Mataji, I just want to clarify, so I think the connection between, we need some understanding as to why we must get out of multiplicity and focus on oneness, and this idea of voluntary attention. So is it because, the energy, the power of our energy, it's so, it has this magnetic quality, it can multiply exponentially, whatever we pay attention to, right? It just goes.
No, what goes?
Our attention, our energy, and especially when we associate it with any object, it can multiply exponentially, is what you're saying. It can draw, it can just suck energy.
The idea is the more intense your attention,
Right.
the more it will come back reflected to you.
Right, and because if we give all that attention to
One object.
useless things, then it's totally
It will come back to you and
in useless ways.
fill your head with multiple.
Junk. And so that's that's why it's so important to connect everything to that idea of oneness, so that I don't feel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You can enjoy this world through God.
All those objects, as long as I connect that.
As long as I know that I am connected to some unit principle. Then I can play the game. It's like a child playing the game because he knows the mother is there. So being sure of where I belong gives us the freedom to play.
He emphasizes that we need to understand, as is given in Advaita Vedanta, how do we experience, why do we experience, where is experience leading us, and what could be its purpose or meaning. Sankhya, which is the basis of all Hindu psychology, gives us the intermediate level. The analysis of this gadget, the body-mind complex, how it came into being, how it evolves out of Prakriti, with Purusha shining through, its meaning and how it functions, and Advaita Vedanta gives the ultimate purpose. We have discussed again and again what experience is, how we experience, why we experience, and where experience takes place. Let us look at the chart on page 12 and see how we experience from a different point of view.
That is the other side, and you have it in your book also. You can look at it and try and see whether it makes sense or not, and then we can discuss if there is any point tomorrow. Homework.
Excepting Purusha and the Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 basic elements, everything else as given in this chart can be called the mind or Antakarna. To start on this process of inquiry, we need to analyze the word mind as it is understood commonly. The ancient Sanskrit word for mind is Antakarna, the inner organ, the subtle body, which is the medium for experiencing the objective world. The subtle body continues even after the death of the gross body in a subtle form and remains as the seed for the next physical body. This word, Antakarna, can be analyzed according to the functioning of its various elements, which include buddhi, intelligence or intellect, ahankar, ego, manas, mind stuff, tanmatra, the subtle levels of perception, and the sense organs. Each of them is needed to give us the experience of an object. Depending on on our past tendencies, desires, and so on, experience may give us understanding or misunderstanding, and therefore we need to realize how much enameling we give to any experience. As also often discussed before, we function at the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic levels. We have discussed the 3 gunas earlier. According to Sankhya psychology, there is a deep correspondence between the desire to see colors, shapes, and forms, for example, and the tanmatra teja and the internal organ,
External.
and the external organ, the eyes. This leads to the experience of the object. The desires are prompted by past experiences and their impressions, which we carry from one life to the next through evolution.
Yes?
So, when the light, so to the light, when the light travels, when we pay our attention to the object, and then it comes back, I'm just wondering what the relationship is with the sun, like this thing we call the sun, you know, this physical.
Well, because most of our experience which we pay attention to happens in the waking state, where the source of light is sun, and then there can be many other sources also. That's why. But we never pay attention to the object directly. We don't see the object. We see the images, which is a very difficult problem to solve. How do we make these images? Will all species see the same thing?
No.
Why not?
Different sense organs.
Different
instruments.
inner organs. So, the tree is not always seen as a tree by all the species. We need to understand that. So, our own, one is the species way of looking at things or creating objects. Another is through evolution, we have learnt to make these sense organs in the nervous system, and so my perception depends on my particular way of looking at the world. It isn't as if outside the world is as it seems to me as a human being, because there are other species also. Why don't they see the same reality? If it is absolute reality, they should see it exactly as I see it, but they don't. So that is another way of understanding that we don't live in a public world. Besides our own unique way of functioning, our unique relationship to our experiences, there is the experience of the species, there is the experience of living beings, there is the experience of even the material atoms. So that is what makes everything clear, that if I am putting all my attention in my own experiences and ignoring the whole other ways of functioning, then how can I get anything out of it? It will be very limited, and that limited experience does not give me what I am looking for.
Absolute and
Yes.
manifestation.
You want to ask them?
I just want to know how we know other species don't experience what we experience.
Well, it's again through science that the eyes, the retina in the eye is made up of two types of cells, rods and what they call cones. So the cones, what do? They separate colors. They are sensitive to wavelengths, special wavelengths, color which can be converted into colors, and the rods are for dim light. Now the eye of a cat, let us take, doesn't have too many, or all the cats, they don't have so many of cones, they have rods. So they see something which, that is the reason why they can see in dim light and we cannot.
You don't see colors.
They don't see colors because the cones are very limited. So that's one way. Then take the magnification of an eagle's eye, flying so high and it can see something which I may be sitting very near, I don't see. So that's another way. There are many ways of understanding this. A fly, they have done it. I don't know how they do it, but they show you in various books on physics and all these, that the fly has a multiple eye, not just one. It has multiple eyes because it is supposed to see color, vivid color, in order to find what it is looking for. And so its vision of the world is very different. Or come to the human level, where we know that the bands of light are many, and my eyes are sensitive to only one band. So supposing all the bands start functioning, then what would I see? These are just to make sure that the world in which we live has not given up all its secrets to us, even physically, even at the material level. So get back to faith, either without bothering about all these things, and say, oh yes, there is a God. And I just want to find that God, that's all. And what do I need to do that? Just find that and pay full attention. Or if I am not in that kind of a mood any longer, as a modern person, then I better understand that I have created a tremendous problem for myself, and there have to be other methods.
Mataji, couldn't we also presume that every animal, just like every human being, would have different experiences with, like the tree? You know, a monkey is...
Oh yeah,
climbing
species definitely.
So is that
species.
enameling in
What
even others?
the enameling, well, it's very difficult to. No, it's not difficult to understand. Take Bhola and Bhairav, these two dogs.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have two dogs in where we stay, and their personalities are absolutely different.
They're the same species, but different
Same
personalities.
species, but different, maybe many birds, who knows?
Absolute and manifestation. Swami Vivekananda in the lecture on absolute and manifestation gives us another simple visual image to help us understand the same concept of how this universe seems to be manifested from the absolute by passing through time, space and causation.
That is pure physics, and I don't know whether I can make it simple enough. Every experience takes place for us through space, through time, through causation. We link every event by past, present, future. Just look at the way the mind functions. Past, present, future. That's time at the physical level. And space, you can never see an object unless it has depth. Clear or not? It has to be three-dimensional. Even in paintings, they will create 3 dimensions. Though it is nothing but a single a flat paper, and yet it seems as if it has depth, because my eyes function only to the principle of depth. So space, time and causation are making Purusha into the tree. That's manifestation, and this is pure consciousness. The absolute and manifestation, which we tried to discuss this morning, that God is hidden, reality is hidden by the way we use our instrument. If I just use the simple instrumentation of sensory organs, I'll see it in one way. If I use reason, I'll see it in another way. If I use intuition, I'll see it in another way. I know it is tough. How can I make it simpler than that? I don't know. Without experiencing these things, or without paying attention to our experiences, we will never understand these ideas. We like to experience, we like to move from event to event to event, and that is what we consider life is about, till there is a problem. But that is not the reality of this world. Neither my reality nor the reality of the world. So I can be convinced by a simple idea that I don't need to understand, and I just need to find a simple method of crossing all these levels. Simple methods were given once upon a time. We do not believe in them any longer. Is anyone willing to say God created the world and I have nothing to doubt about that? If you have, that's the simplest method. If I don't, then I must have some alternative. Otherwise, life becomes meaningless. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after.
When I look at this map, I just, like right off the bat, like the one observation I make is that on the external side, how well that's all mapped out, like from the external organs to the Panchamahabhutas to the Tanmatras and everything. And so this is good. It's external.
This external is inside. It's not visible external.
All these are subtles. Oh, okay. These are happening at the subtle level.
Within. This is my gadget.
So we have, okay, I see what you're pointing at.
Yeah.
Because they're pointing to something that we need to move from the external object solid view to something subtler and subtler and subtler.
My own instrument, which is receiving various impulses from the outside world, if you want to call it absolutely real. If not, go to the dream world where I am creating the impulses also.